Does the promoter get diluted as I continue to raise more money? What a great question. This is one of the things that's brilliant about this business. There's a little bit of math that makes it very simple. I mean, the math isn't any more complicated than arithmetic, but the promoter generally does not get diluted as you continue to raise more money. And here basically is what happens. Let's say you have a 60-40 deal. The investors have 60, the promoter has 40. Of that 60-40, in our case, we have multiple classes that add up to 60. So we have A, B, and C shares. They all add up to 60%. The promoter shares add up to 40%. So the promoter is always on the side. And as you raise more money, the ratio between the promoter and the investors never changes. So they still always own 60%. The promoter always owns 40%. And regardless of how much money gets raised, that doesn't change. Now, you might think, well, isn't that bad for the investors? No, it's not bad. Here's exactly what happens. If you raise $5 million, and let's say that you're going to return 8%. Let's say you return $400,000. So that's their percent. That's what they get. They're going to get $400,000, which is 8% on their money. Now, let's say that you raise another $5 million. Now you got $10 million. You still have to return twice as much money to the people for them to be even. Otherwise, they're going to fall short. But the promoter is still going to get their 40% of the profit that gets made. So regardless of how it happens, the investors, they like this. They like the fund to get a little bigger because there's safety in numbers. The more funds the fund has, the more secure the deal is. But the promoter really stands to benefit by having more capital, more deals to do, more fees are driven because there's more transaction happening. And if you want to double the amount of money that you make, then just go raise more money and go do more deals. And that really is the simplicity of how the math works. And by the way, Spotify works exactly the same way using this model. They're on a 70-30 typically with their musicians, with the artists that supply them. They keep 30% of all the revenue that gets generated. The artists get 70%. So every time that Spotify doubles, the artists are still getting the 70% pot, but the Spotify people are getting more and more and more. And that's what makes that company so very valuable. So the hedge fund model, the syndication model, the model that certain venture companies use, not very many, but it's really more prone to our industry. It works very, very well. It's a very powerful formula. And it's just one of those things that makes this a great business. So go out and stake your claim.